G'day, welcome to Unchained Thinker. I'm Justin. Tonight I want to discuss the concept of the devil is in the details. What do I mean when I say the devil is in the details? Well, very often the truth about our reality is hidden in plain sight, but it's often buried in the small, fine details where people overlook them. A lot of people read, for example, the headlines of an article and assume that they know everything about that article now. Or they pick and choose what to read or what to see and seem to gloss over some of the finer points, which are actually telling the truth very often. The real world is actually an incredibly amazing world full of an astonishing and mind-boggling phenomena, but many of us are hoodwinked and led to believe that scientists and anyone in some sort of position of authority has it all figured out, and it's absolutely ludicrous. All of that is actually an inversion of reality, and normally if you are willing to take a deep dive and look at the truth objectively and open your mind and take away those chains of boxed thought and indoctrination, you will find the truth very easily. The devil is always in the details. Now, not only is it important to delve in and figure out the truth, but sometimes you won't quite get to the truth, but you will just realise that you're dealing with a lie. And that's okay. You don't have to know everything. So often the details will lead you to the truth that the thing that you're being sold by some authority figure or some long-held belief is actually a fabrication. And that might not present what is actually going on, but it doesn't mean you have to believe the lie. So you need to follow the details, and you will find the devil hiding there. Now, it also means another important thing. The devil is in the details means don't dwell in the details, because that's where the devil lives. And if you hone in and try and figure absolutely everything out about one tiny little thing, then you're going to miss the rest of it. So you need to do your due diligence and figure out whether something is truthful or fabricated, and then move on to the next thing, to the next logical conclusion, or be happy that there, or not necessarily be happy, but be satisfied enough that it's a fabrication, and that doesn't mean you have to know the answer or that you do know the answer, but just know that you haven't been hoodwinked. So, a lot of my past videos, in fact, all of my past videos so far have been dealing with health and how the truth is an inversion of what we're told and what the TV programming propagates and what the so-called politicians that are looking out for us are just plain out, straight out liars. And it's easy to figure that out because the devil's in the details. As soon as you go hunting for a few of these details, you can undo all of their nonsense. Now, does that mean I can tell you exactly what's going on and what this is all about? Well, I have my ideas. Some of them are backed by fact, and some are just logical conclusions based on other facts, but by nature would be up to interpretation. But that doesn't mean I have to believe their nonsense just because I can't come up with a better reason, and just because something, for example, that people often say is, oh, but why? Why would they all lie? Well, again, that isn't a fact. Regardless of the answer, the why isn't the question, right? You can't debunk a fact with conjecture, with subjectivity. If you don't understand why, that doesn't mean the truthful facts aren't real, right? That just means you don't know why. So I see all the time, like, people getting so angry and triggered by, truth seekers, because most of the time the truth speaks for itself. But people fight it, they reject it, because they've got these chains around their brain, and they have this cognitive dissonance that wants to hold on to their cotton wool world. So they blue pill themselves. So many people are afraid of the red pill. I feel like they know, they hear the logic, and they know the truth, but they bury and push deep down because they're afraid of what that means. Some people are just brainwashed so completely that they don't even realise that's what they're doing. And then there's other people that are on the fence, and they don't want to admit it, but they know it's true. So the devil's in the details. Take a look and figure it out for yourselves, because this has gone too far. The fact that they are coming after children now who have next to a 0% chance of dying is ludicrous with these things that they're hunting people down for. It's an absolute inversion of the real world, because in the real world, kids are resilient. There's absolutely no need to be sticking stuff in them. Humans, for I don't know how long, because I don't trust history. I don't trust any of the crap that they sell me. They tell us timelines of people, this many thousands of years or whatever, like tens of, like, it's. I wasn't there. No one was. All this dating crap that they use to figure this, that, and the other is complete assumption, and it has to make assumptions that certain events happened the way they think they happened in order for the results to be accurate. So it's just circular reasoning. So I don't trust any of that. But let's assume that people have been here for many, many thousands of years. Well, we've never needed to do any of that crap till now, so why would it be any different now? It's just ludicrous. It's complete inversion. And it's not just the health. The very world in which we live has been inverted, and people think they live somewhere they don't, which is going to be the topic of my next few videos, because that's actually one of my favourite subjects. But it's everything, even law. There's a couple of simple laws, which is don't harm other people and don't take their crap, pretty much. If you're not hurting people and causing them loss, then you're not doing anything wrong. All this whole legal system, that's not lawful. When they're talking about legal, it's not lawful. Law is natural law. I walk across the street wherever I feel like. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Some policeman somewhere might think, "Hey man, you've broken the law," but I haven't broken any laws. That's an infringement in their legal system. That too is an inversion. So I think another topic I'm going to get into is eventually is natural law and where we're stuck, because I have been researching this for a little while, and there's much smarter people than I am talking about this and getting great results with this. And I'm going to implement that in my life as well, because I've had enough. I've been going along with this system because you've got to pick and choose where you put your energy. And so I haven't had the reason to need to put energy into that at this stage. I've learned a fair bit about it, so I know what's what, and I know who I am and what my rights are, but I've never needed to push that. But it's at the stage where I think I'm going to, so I'm going to keep, once I start implementing documents and so on, I'm going to follow that up on here as well, so keep people in the loop. But that's not a topic I'm willing to discuss just yet. if that sort of thing interests you, I highly recommend. There's a fella called Tom Barnett. Find him on YouTube or BitChute. I think he's got tombarnett.tv or something, might be his website, I can't remember. But he's brilliant. The stuff he speaks about to do with law and health, my word, he is an incredibly knowledgeable man. Everything that, like, I found him probably a few weeks ago actually, and everything he says is stuff that I've discovered through my own journey. So if you watch my videos about my health journey, it's, I mean, he's enlightened me on a lot more things, and he gets deeper into it. His understanding is greater than mine. But again, like I said, the devil's in the details. So you can go really, really deep with that sort of stuff and figure out every single micro process of the body. But I don't know that you need to go that deep. You just need to have a reasonable understanding on this. And it makes sense. I mean, people know. They know in their heart what's right and what's wrong. You know that when you're eating a Big Mac, that it's shit food. It's that simple. And if you think about it hard enough, and so this is cognitive dissonance for a lot of people, is they know that it's crap, but they deny that it's going to cause them any sort of negative repercussions. You're just kidding yourself. So I'm not saying you can't go and eat some junk food or have some alcohol or whatever here and there, but if that's what you're about, you're going to find yourself in a nasty world. If you want happy, healthy living, there's better ways than putting that sort of rubbish into your body. Anyway, I digress. Check Tom Barnett out if you want to get deep into health. Some of the stuff that I've alluded to, he'll take it to the next level. He's got some great advice. One thing I would think about is use your own observation and logic and reasoning. Do a deep dive into yourself. Weigh these things up, and most of us know. Sometimes it just takes somebody to say it, and it triggers the aha moment for you. So yeah, check him out. He's fantastic. If you're interested in the legal side of things or the lawful side of things, there's a website called solutionsempowerment.com or possibly .com.au. That's a great website for resources if you're interested in the legal and lawful type stuff. So I highly recommend checking that out. The guy, what's his name, Mark, I can't remember his surname, he runs that, and he's very knowledgeable. So there's there's a site called Know Your Rights Group, I think it is, or knowyourrights.com.au. Great sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. The devil is in the details, right? So don't dwell in the details, because that's where the devil lives, but read the details enough to figure out whether you're dealing with an inversion of truth or whether you've got the truth in your hands. Okay? Very simple. It's very, very simple. Don't forget the labels. When you hear something like, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, that's just the programming to make you just disregard what people like myself say. Because it's not up for debate. This stuff isn't... You have a debate about what you think should happen, say, about a subjective matter. So now, should the house be green or blue? Let's debate the reasons why we think that should be. But when you're talking about objective reality, there's no debate. There is the truth, and then there is nonsense or inversions of the truth. So it's not hard to figure this stuff out. It's easier. So if somebody tells you the answer to something, you're not going to know it. If you question it yourself and come and find the answer because it already makes sense to you, and then you can source through all sorts of different documentation and find the logic and reasoning and scrutinize it, hold it up to scrutiny, hold it accountable, verify, look for proof of claim, it's very easy to uncover the truth. So, highly recommend that. Proof of claim. That's all I think about now. As soon as anybody tells me anything, I've just got this. I've programmed myself to say proof of claim, please. proof of claim please, proof of claim please, every time. And if I can't verify a claim, then I just let it go. It's just nonsense. Verify the claims. I'm still to this day thinking, like, coming across things that I've held just to be the truth because I was programmed from a young age to accept that that's what reality is. I'm still stumbling across this stuff and going, whoa, like, no way, that was there the whole time, right in front of my eyes. But we're programmed. That's what this education system's about. Gets you early, gets you young, and puts an authority figure there. And as soon as you question it as a kid, you have valid questions because kids know better. They don't have this bias. They don't have the filters of lifelong indoctrination. They just see things exactly as they are. And then an authority figure there sits there and tells them what it is and why they're wrong and how it should be. And so they override their logic and reasoning. They outsource it to an authority figure. So it's a programming tactic that is carried on through your entire life. So proof of claim please, proof of claim please, proof of claim please. It's that easy. Verify it. Someone tells you something, especially if it's a salesman that's trying to sell you something, proof of claim please, every time. And you will find the devil in the details. But don't dwell there. As soon as you discover it's a lie, move on. The deeper you dive into these big rabbit holes, the brighter your light needs to be. So don't go digging down there for too long. It will consume you. But you need to do enough so you're not getting hoodwinked anymore. So we need more and more people to wake up. We need more and more people to just realise that it's all an illusion, an inversion, and that you have the power. This is nothing old. This sort of stuff has been going on since the dawn of time. Don't ask me when that was. Proof of claim, please. I can't verify much past the 1800s for Australia. I think that's all nonsense before that. Absolutely nonsense. The starting of Australia, the history that we're told, absolute nonsense. You know, we've got these magnificent buildings that were supposedly built with, you know, a few like tens of thousands of convicts. That all happened all around the country simultaneously with, you know, bugger all people who are all getting whipped. Like, it's just laughable. But you take these things to be true because that's what you're taught. That's what you're taught at school. And now that I'm starting to question it, I'm going, hang on, the math doesn't add up. The timeline stinks. And when you actually look in the details, that's where the devil's hiding, you'll realise it's nonsense. There's they apparently built all these buildings. They had glass panes with no glazier and proven documents asking for a glazier. But they supposedly already had these big magnificent glass pane, you know, in the churches. You know, I can't remember the name of them. The tinted ones. You know, just ludicrous stuff. They had no bricklayer. They had this convict bricklayer. It was like the only one in Australia when it was first founded, and he was killed for stealing a loaf of bread or something after a few months. You're only bricklayer. You know, yeah, right, sure, total story. If you love that sort of stuff, so I've been looking at the Tartarian, you know, the mud floods and all of that sort of stuff lately. You want to check out Tartarian Truthers on YouTube. A couple of girls in, I think, Sydney, New South Wales. Brilliant research. All right, because the whole thing stinks. You need to ask for proof of claim. The history, all of our history, is an absolute fabrication. The world in which we live, absolute fabrication. The medical system, absolute fabrication. The legal system, absolute fabrication. It's all nonsense. Materialism, everyone's born and taught that you live and you die and that's it, that you don't have a soul. Nonsense, people. Absolute nonsense. You need to wake up to these sorts of things and look into the details, and you'll soon realise that there's so much more to all of this, to all of life. There's an agenda at play, and it's beyond this realm, this physical existence that we have. And everything that you do matters. The karmic flow of energy in life. Your decisions and your actions matter. If anyone has ever read the Bible and you see they talk about the mark of the beast in the forehead or the hand, they're talking about your decisions and your actions. All right? That's what it is. Could be wrong. Again, I'm just a guy with a laptop. But my interpretation of that, and I don't necessarily believe, I think if everyone read the Bible and sort of listened to the messages in it, the world would probably be a better place. But I don't advocate for that. I don't believe in, I'm agnostic. I don't know what there is. I don't claim to know, but I find these books very interesting. And when they talk about, there's a lot of people with everything that's going on talking about the book of Revelations and the mark of the beast and all this sort of stuff. And it's your decisions and your actions, right? It's a concept. It's talking about the mark of the beast as in the bad guy. And it's talking about you making stupid decisions and doing stupid things. People can wake up. It's very easy. All you need to do is look. The devil lives there in the details. It's very easy to see it when you look. You can't unsee it. And when you start doing truth seeking, you'll realise that it leads to a better understanding and a better understanding of what we are and a higher aspiration for yourself. People are just content to just wake up, go to work, pay taxes and have things that just don't matter. It's just nonsense. There's so much more to life. There's so much more to this existence. I'm so happy every single day that I wake up. I say to so many people all the time, I tell them all, if they ask how I am, I say, I'm fantastic, thanks for asking. And I say, do you know why I'm fantastic? Because I woke up breathing. That gives me one more day at whatever the hell this is. Because I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out. But what I know is it's fantastic. It's absolute blessing to be alive. It really is. I live in possibly the most beautiful place in the world. I'm in Tasmania, and the scenery is amazing. That's a blessing. Every single day I go to work. Oh, wow, look at this. Of course, I'd love to not go to work, but, I'm working on that. But it's a family business, so at least I'm not selling my soul for some fat cat in an office who's just getting fat off my sweat and equity. But it's a gift. Whatever this thing is, this life, this opportunity, it's an absolute gift. And so many people just throw it away. They never ever explore anything more than their little bubble world, the blue pill world. Take the red pill, have a look. I know it seems daunting, but I have not been happier or freer since I discovered the truth about our world. If anybody that's watching this knows me and has known me for a long time, you will know that I'm a very, very different person to the person I was 5 years ago. I'm a much, much happier person. I used to be a very angry, depressed person. And that's because I was trapped in that world of poor health and cognitive dissonance, trying to look for the quick fix, for the magic pill that's going to make it all better. And then I realised one day that there is no such thing. Healing comes from within. If you change your perspective, you can change the world. If people ask how you are, it's, oh, I'm okay, thanks for asking. Well, you're trapping yourself into that. You are a co-creator of this reality, and what you put out into the world will come back to you. So I tell everybody, every time I can, as much as I can, muster up the energy to do it in a positive way, I'm fantastic, thanks for asking, every single time. Every now and then I go, oh yeah, I'm pretty good, and then I think, Missed it. I'm better than pretty good. I'm way up here. That's not very high, is it? I'm up here. I'm fantastic every day because life is fantastic. I've got beautiful family, beautiful children that absolutely love me. I couldn't be happier, really. And, and I was given a gift, a beautiful gift, which is the gift of sight. Not this sight. Sight. Seeing through the bullcrap, the inversions. It's Satan, and I'm not talking about Satan as in the guy with the red pitchfork, the red horns and a pitchfork. I'm talking about Satan. The word Satan means opposer. Doesn't need to be opposer of God. It just means the opposer of anything natural. The inversion. It's backward. It's inverted. It's fabricated. Most of the world that most people live in, it's illusory. If anyone's seen the Matrix movie, and Neo becomes awake at the end there, or whatever, and he sees the world with the numbers, it's not quite like that. But you just see through. If you've watched the movie They Live with the sunglasses, and he puts the sunglasses on, and he can see, he can see the actual messages. That's kind of what it's like. Stuff comes in, and you just see straight through it these days. And you look around, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at that! Oh, I can't believe that!" Or, "Oh no, another variant of the superbug." And you just think, what are you saying that I'm not? Because all I see is hocus pocus. All right. Anyway, this was meant to be a short video. The devil's in the details, people. It's really easy to see through it. You just got to start asking questions. Here's a great one. Proof of claim, please. And then try and back it up, and try and think of, for example, this current supposed health scare that's got everyone run around doing dumb stuff. Right? Poisoning your body. You got to ask questions like, hang on, how many people is it killing in Australia? About 1,000 a year. All right. How many people does smoking kill in Australia every year? 19,000, you say? Oh. Wouldn't we have a better result if we just stopped people from smoking? That's a very good question. Because when you stack those questions next to each other, you realise that there's absolute lunacy in telling people that they have to get something into them when you could just stop a small percentage of the population from poisoning themselves with puffing on cigarettes, and you will save 19 times more lives per year. If that doesn't wake people up and make them realise that this is an absolute inversion of the truth, and that this is nothing to do with the numbers, this is everything to do with control, making people sick and in servitude to a system that's run by petrochemical and pharmaceutical companies, making a stack of money off making you sick and keeping you sick. It's super, super, super easy to see that. Proof of claim, please? Do some research. You'll find many of these politicians with major conflicts of interest making a stack of money every time someone goes and does that to themselves. There's some politician and some pharmaceutical fat cat in his office going, another sucker. It's really easy to break free from it. All you got to do is ask one simple question. Proof of claim, please. Anyway, let's leave it there. Don't dwell down in the details for too long. Just do enough to realise that what you're looking at is a fabrication, and move on and find Find the truth, but it's not going to be by looking at one thing. You've got to step back and look at it all. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is a bit longer than I anticipated, but I hope you got something out of this. Time to wake up, people. Time to wake up. Thanks.